Did I read this correctly that your therapist once told you to take a break from men for a year?
Yeah. Where did I say that? Yeah. I took like a full year off.
You did it?
I was like, what?
Wait.
I couldn't flirt. No, yeah, none of it. But it was great.
How old were you when you did this?
30 something. I was like at that place where I was like, I don't want to keep repeating any
Right.
patterns anymore. I have a great therapist who was like, I can help you, but you have to like do it.
Right, you got to like get off the sauce, Kate.
He's like, get off the sauce. And well, my thing is I always get distracted, you know.
Right. You
It's
like to flirt. You like
it's
boys.
fun.
You said
Yeah.
you love boys.
I love the, you know, like, ooh, this is fun. I'm gonna text this person. But it was really interesting because he took me like basically I was like, okay, well, I guess I can't even text guys.
You couldn't flirt. If a guy came up to you, you're like, just not interested.
Yeah, I mean I could talk to them, but
Right.
I was like, I couldn't give them my number. So I'd be like, they'd be like, can I have your number? I'd be like, you know, no.
My
Like
therapist said no.
I'm not there right now. But it was strangely empowering because it got very uncomfortable for me in the beginning, like the first couple months. I was like, you know, my mojo was like, I was just like, oh God. I was like, just felt like I was like, what am I doing?
Right.
Like I'm not like,
Not me.
yeah, it just it's not fun, you know? And so I was like, well, and then because we were going through very specific type of therapy, it was really about like figuring out certain things that were happening with me. And then I had this one sort of breakthrough that was very emotional that I don't think I would have been able to access if I had any distraction. So like it allowed me to see things much more clearly. And then within 6 months, I was like, I didn't care about my phone. I didn't care about like if I was going to go out and meet my girlfriends. I wasn't like that thing where I'm like, oh, I wonder if so-and-so would be there, or like, ooh, we should maybe call up so-and-so and then do that. You know, there was no desire for me to be doing anything that had anything to do with potential, you know, flirtation.
Right.
So, then when I was in with, you know, doing that, and I remember my therapist a year later was like, okay, I think you can flirt again. I was like, what? I can flirt? And he's like, yeah. I was like, what does that mean? He's like, how do I flirt? I like forgot. And then I remember like all these guys would start texting and I'd be like, I didn't have the same attachment to it anymore. It just went away.
It
was like, I didn't get that like, ooh, you know,
Right.
I was just like, oh, no, it just didn't have the same like pull.
Interesting.
It sort of became, and then the guys that I would normally have been like, ooh, was like, nope.
That's
It was
incredible.
pretty amazing.
So you lasted the year.
Oh yeah, I'm very disciplined.
Damn.
Yeah, it was good.
1 year.
1 year, and yeah.
It's pretty
And
incredible.
then I was a lot longer because I was so happy single. I was single for like 3.5 years.
Being single is incredible. If you're like in the right place and like you're mentally focused on yourself, you're like,
So
I
great.
am fucking great. I don't need anyone. And that's where you want to get to when you're single. Like
I love it.
I have empathy
love
for
it.
women that when you get through out of a relationship, you almost have those withdrawal symptoms of like, oh my God, I'm used to having a partner. I'm used to having them here. And then
Yeah.
you get good at being alone. You're like,
And I don't think if I would have done that, if I didn't do that, I would never have ended up with Danny, you know.
let's talk about Danny.
Yeah, because Danny, like, he's just such a good man, and I'm not so sure I was like attracted to the good man. I mean, I was attracted to good men,
Right.
but like, you know, that the uncomplicated
Right.
kind of, I liked a feisty, wild type, and whereas Danny has that in him, his values are very sturdy, and he's such a lovely person, and I would have never I think, allowed that in if I didn't take those 3 years of just being so happy in my life alone.
But I think that's a great thing for like all the women listening to think about. It's like when you're single, you get anxious of like, okay, like I need to find who's my next person. Like, oh my gosh, like my clock, like what am I going to do? And it's like, if you just chill, half the time when you get to the end, you're like, oh, I don't need anyone. Like they got to be fucking great if I find someone.
There's this really funny, like I see, I of course get fed all these like Aries memes. And there's this one where they're like, I'm an Aries, of course I da. Like, and there was one person who goes, oh, was it like, I'm an Aries, like, of course I love to be in relationships. And then he's like, you like me back? Like, and just runs in the other direction. And I think there's a little bit of like the Aries thing, which is like, we like newness.
Yeah.
Adventure, you know, like excitement.
Yeah.
So like the sort of good man, like solid relationship is like Aries, I think a little bit in our head is like, a little bit like, is this gonna like, is there gonna be something that's gonna keep this interesting, or is this the rest of my life? And I think a lot of like fire signs would relate to this. And so for me, that those 3 years was like, oh, I'm actually like really I loved being without, because I was so happy alone. Like that sort of like excitement thing was like, that's actually not really,
but you don't need it. You're like, I'm exciting.
Yeah.
I excite myself.
That's right. It's like, I can create my own newness.
You and Danny had known each other for 15 years before you guys got together?
I met Danny when I was 23, pregnant with Ryder, and Danny was in high school. Yeah.
Who made the first move?
Danny. Yeah. He was very, very slow burn.
Oh,
So slow. I was like, this is weird. Like, is this like a thing, or is this like not a thing? You know, he's really cute. He's really great.
that's so cute.
I know, he's the best. I honestly, like, I'm just, it's like, I'm so happy.
Good for you. Because I think it's like incredible when you find, I love when you find people in your life that you like. I can tell you're like, you're glowing when you talk about him.
I could just like, you know, I really believe that there's a lot of different people in your life that you could have, right? It's like the options are endless.
Yeah.
When people are like, I can't find anybody, I'm like, you're not looking in the right places. Like there's somebody for everybody. You have to just be open to it, and it has to, and you have to let the expectation go.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to look the way you want him to look, and he's might not, you know, all this, like, this is my vision board. Like, be comfortable if the person on your vision board is the opposite of who the guy you end up falling in love with is.
Hi, Daddy Gang. Thank you so much for watching this video. Keep in mind, that was just a little clip from the episode. If you want to watch the entire full video episode, it is linked below. It's the first thing in the description. Go watch it. It's a great episode. Love you all. I will see you next Wednesday.